Manifestation truly is the alignment of what you think, what you say, and what you do. When those three things are aligned, that's what creates impact in the world and in your life.
Every idea either puts you in the direction of your goal and dream that you're manifesting, or it takes you away. Every thought, every idea, every word that moves you away from your dreams needs to be eradicated. That's what it means to come into an alignment.
If I'm out of alignment, the universe will not help me at all. And that's not sustainable. But if I am in alignment with my true purpose, the universe will provide the energy for me. The universe will be my sidekick. Like, we're in this together.
Inside of yourself, you think about something, what you really want. You think about what you really want, but your words say something differently. And your actions are also, again, a complete other area. So you think this, you say that, and you do this. How should the power of the universe know what you want if you, for yourself, are already separated into three beings? But if what you carry in your heart, carry in your mind, speak out and act upon it, if all these three things are together, it's super easy for the universe, or however you call, to understand this is what he or she really wants. Here it is.
It is for you and I to become conscious of our thoughts, our words, our actions, our deeds. And if we can make them all align up so that we're moving in the same direction, there's no more room for this idea of, I want to produce wealth, but money is bad. That doesn't work. They can't occupy the same space. You can't occupy two different spaces. So it is time for you and I to just start occupying one. And that happens when we become aligned.
Manifestation isn't magic. It's clarity, belief, and consistent action in alignment. For so many people, they may tell an amazing story about how they manifested something. It's not that they didn't vision it. It's not that they didn't have clarity. They also aligned their action, their time, their energy, their resources in that direction.
Move your heart and mind into agreement and act out of that united self. That's how you move your life into alignment. Move your heart and mind into agreement. Align your heart and mind with your values, what you believe to be true, good, right, just, and act out of that united self.
So much that you're living that is such a departure from what you really want isn't because you're a terrible person. It isn't because you've done terrible things. It's because you're chronically holding yourself away from the vibration of alignment that is natural to you. And so just a little bit of attention to the way you feel and a determination to feel better more of the time, it'll take care of that.
Alignment simply means that your values, your goals, and your actions are working together. We are out of alignment when we are taking actions, that we have goals that are out of alignment with our values and the things that we truly care about. We are in alignment when those things are working together in harmony.
When you're in alignment, your energy doesn't run out. When you finish something that's in alignment, you have more energy after doing that thing than you did before.
Whenever your inner world and your outer world are in alignment, whenever your activities and your values are congruent, and whenever your activities are in balance with the highest values that you hold, you feel terrific and perfectly centered in your life. If you say and do one thing while you admire and respect another set of behaviors, you feel unhappy and dissatisfied. You feel out of balance. Now, it's not easy to attain a sense of balance and equilibrium. It requires effort on your part. It requires that you think through who you are and who you want to be.
When you live in alignment with your inner spirit, you tap into a powerful force within. You experience a sense of peace, purpose, and joy that transcends the ups and downs of daily life. Your actions become effortless, flowing from a place of deep inner knowing. This alignment allows you to attract abundance into your life. When you are clear about your desires and aligned with your soul's purpose, You create a magnetic field that draws to you the people, resources, and opportunities you need to manifest your dreams.
Whatever is important to you, where your heart is, there is the mind. Where the mind is, so where the intention is, there is the energy. Where the energy is, there's the creation. So, if your heart is hanging on something, but your actions are doing something else, that just means your energy and what your heart really wants, they are not merging at all. So the universe doesn't know, what do you want? What should the universe give you now? So for me, it's all about alignment. What I feel inside aligns with what I talk, it aligns with what I think, it aligns with what my actions do, it aligns optimally with the proper circumstances. And when everything is aligned, then the energy can just flow. Then it just flows and it just happens.
Are you being a liar? Well, you know when you're supposed to go to the gym. I'm not saying you have to go to the gym every single day, but you know when you're supposed to go and you don't go. You know when you're supposed to sit down and read that article or that book or listen to that thing and you don't do it, and you know you're supposed to. You're not being authentic with yourself because you want something, but your actions say something else. And your mindset and your actions need to be aligned. Think of you and me in 1940 or 1950 driving down the Midwest in an old Cadillac, and we wanted to listen to some music. That music is already attuned to that frequency. What we have to do is tune the radio and position ourselves in that frequency so then we can tune into it. So most people, they want to operate at a high vibrational frequency, attract prosperity, attract purpose, attract wealth, but their actions aren't aligning with it. So you have to act and then you'll receive. You have to do and then the outcome will produce itself. All you have to do is change your mindset and be like, hey, you know what? Instead of looking at the situation negatively, you may look at it positively. Well, how do I do it? I don't know. Lie to yourself until you believe it, just like you lied to yourself about the negative shit. But once you understand that you can't solve the problems in your life with the same mindset and the same information that gave you the problems in the first place, then you understand that you need a renewed mind and you need new information in order to behave differently.
So if you're a beginner, you have to separate you feeling something and you acting on that feeling, because you may feel hopeless many, many times, but you need to continue to do the activities that are aligned with your goal. You may feel hungry, but you need to not eat the cookie to stay aligned with your goal. You may feel angry, but know that retaliating at your coworker has no likely positive outcome. You may hate your boss, but undermining them in front of the team may make you feel good in the moment, but again, destroy your long-term career prospects.
When your goals align with your values, life stops feeling like a to-do list and starts feeling like purpose. Work feels lighter, focus feels sharper, and progress feels meaningful, not performative. Every small win becomes proof of your integrity, a reflection of alignment between who you are and what you do. Alignment turns effort into flow. It transforms pressure into peace.
When you're aligning your thoughts, words, actions, you're actually giving yourself the opportunity to then align with nature. So to me, manifesting is the ability to connect your desires with the desires of nature and the universe. And when they're aligned in service, you get to experience harmony within yourself. And Gandhi said it best. He said that true harmony is experienced when what you think, say, and do are aligned. And I think for a lot of us, we think one thing, but we say something else. We say we'll do something, but we do something else. Manifesting is getting that all into alignment so that we can live our highest potential and highest life of service to others.
Why motivation fails? Because motivation is unreliable. Think about it for a moment. One night of bad sleep or a stressful phone call, poof, it's out the window. It's like a match that can go out in a second. Now, motivation is great at times, but it's short-lived. You know what's long-lived? Aligned energy. Because when you're aligned, you don't need motivation. You move through life with purpose, with clarity, and you're freaking unstoppable when you are aligned. So, motivation can be great in small little bits, but get aligned and see amazing changes in your life.
While you're sound asleep, your subconscious mind takes over. And you have 8 hours, you have 1/3 of your life to prepare yourself for how you're going to deal with the rest of your life. What is tomorrow going to look like? Well, if you program yourself as you go off to sleep, reminding yourself of all the things that you don't like, the universe is going to offer you experiences that match up to what you don't like and what you don't want and what is missing and what other people have and you don't. You don't want to use your mind to train your subconscious mind to act like that, because you will align with ordinary rather than with the superconscious.
When you're aligned, mentally, physically, and spiritually, you're literally like a seed planted into the frequency of all of Earth's creation. And an entire ecosystem will build itself around how you're vibrating inside of the way in which you're aligned. It would be difficult if a bird were to try to be a giraffe. Be difficult. You can see how life is that difficult. Now, if a bird were a bird who doesn't even know it's a bird, but it's just using everything that's already inside of it, you can see how soaring takes place. That's that version of abundance for the bird. So the effortlessness comes from the full consciousness of alignment from mind, body, and soul. Doesn't take away from your talent, doesn't take away from your skill, doesn't take away from your work ethic. The difference is, are you living from the outside in or the inside out? Anyone who's living from the outside in, they're living a hard internal life.
Finding your purpose is something that's extremely important. If you're going to do your best work and live the highest quality possible life, how do you think you're going to do that if you're not living in alignment with your true purpose? Now, it's not something that necessarily you know starting out. It's something you have to discover through action, through contemplation, through understanding your unique strengths.
Achievement without alignment feels like failure. We think success guarantees fulfillment, but psychology shows when your achievements don't match your values, they feel hollow. That's why people hit milestones, the promotion, the house, the wedding, and feel emptier than ever. It's not that the house, the wedding, or the milestone wasn't important. It's that, did you connect it to your values? Success without alignment isn't success. When actions and values don't match, the brain experiences internal conflict. For example, I value family, but I spend all my time at work. I value creativity, but my role only rewards efficiency. This dissonance, this distance, creates stress, anxiety, and eventually burnout, even in successful people.
When we aren't in alignment with who we were created to be, when we aren't in alignment with our purpose, when we aren't in alignment with the things we know we should be going after, the things we feel, the things we think about, when we aren't doing that, when we aren't in harmony with the design in our nature, we aren't successful. We are only successful when we are living in harmony and living in alignment with who we were created to be. That's when we are successful.
Over-excessive thinking always comes down to you trying to convince yourself to maintain certain things that actually feel inauthentic deep down. If you were to think about what you are really overthinking about, it's something that doesn't necessarily feel acceptable to you. It's something that either involves you not trusting yourself or you realizing deep down that that external variable that is causing the excessive thinking is not aligned with you. In either case, alignment is what needs to be created. And so the only way to stop overactive thinking is to bring yourself into a state of coherence.
Things can be said to be in alignment when they are in the correct or appropriate relative position. So to visualize this, I like to think of our lives as an ever-expanding piece of magical mosaic art made up of all the pieces of our lives. And alignment means we get to choose where each piece is located, according to who we are and what we need right now.
We all know everything, and we're all powerful, and that whatever we put our intention on, if we stay aligned up here and think and act this way rather than down here, being consumed with our greed, that whatever it is you would like to attract into your life, you do not get what you want, you get what you are. You will attract who you are and what you are.
What am I trying to hold together that's not even mine to hold on to? Like what illusion am I trying to keep alive? Is what would my life look like if it was built in alignment with who I truly am, not who I was trained to be? And then figure that out and take one step, just one step towards that life that feels more like it's in alignment with you.
If we only focus on what the ego wants, we may be out of alignment with our life purpose. And because we become out of alignment with our life purpose, what we end up doing is we end up creating blocks. We end up creating things that our higher self has to guide us back into alignment.
For me, reminding myself of that I think this is bad or I think this is good, it limits the peaks and it also limits the valleys. And saying, this just is. And I think it's, in my opinion, absolute acceptance of the world without casting judgment on it. And it's difficult to do because we all want to make judgments and we have to make judgments in order to live. We have to approximate this is a good decision, bad decision. This is a decision that will increase the likelihood that what I want to have happen will happen. But most of the good bads that we have that are coming up are not for our own benefit, are not aligned with our goals. They're aligned with one person that told us something when we were 7 years old, and then we incorporated that and we say, oh, this is bad, because someone else, when we were a kid, like, you hit your head and then you look at the adult and the adult says that's bad and you say, oh, it's bad, I'm gonna cry now, right? And so there are so many thousands and millions of those tiny judgments that are passed on to us that do not serve us.
So you're amazing. Your next level isn't just being more productive. It's being effective at the right things that support the dream. That's what I mean by alignment. You can already get a lot done. The issue is removing the things that are not bringing value or progress towards the dream experience. It's about really analyzing my time, energy, resources, money, efforts, sanity, and am I applying those things in alignment with the dream? Or am I aligning to lots of other actions and other people's obligations?
The challenge of living consciously, ethically, morally, is to align our thoughts, words, and actions with our purpose and values. When our actions fall out of alignment with our values, the wheels begin to wobble. If your words, thoughts, and actions don't align with what's in your heart, you will never have peace. So much of our stress, unhappiness, and anxiety is caused when our lives fall out of alignment with our highest values.
He or she who does the most reps looks the best, right? So it's the repetitions, it's the times that you experiment with what you're doing that gets you closer to where you want to go. You're learning, you're becoming more durable, you're building. And also, success too fast can be a curse. Man, they say don't be too good at something you hate or they'll make you do it for the rest of your life. So you got to look within the self to make sure you're in alignment with what you're doing. Truly, that's the first step.
Let's say that you wake up in the morning and rather than finding that clear space that is potentially there for you to find, instead, as soon as you wake up, you remember the trouble that you had yesterday. And you think about being at work, and you think about the dilemma, and you think about the discomfort, and you think about the discord. And as you focus for as little as 17 seconds, more thoughts like that will join it. So another 17 seconds, more momentum still. Another 17 seconds, more momentum still, until you cross something as short as the 68-second mark. You have lost your window of alignment with Source.
What would it look like to have energy again? Not from caffeine, not from being afraid of something and fear driving you, not from obligation, but to have energy that comes from you being in alignment with what you're supposed to be doing.
The dream always comes with resistance. You'll get to where you want in life, just not in the way you imagined it. Pain isn't proof of misalignment. It's proof you're growing. It's proof it matters. And ultimately, it reveals to you whether it matters enough. If you give up because something's hard, it means you didn't care enough about the thing. We do the most difficult things as humans for things we care about.
Close your eyes for a moment and feel it. Everything is aligning for you. This is not just hope. It is certainty. This is not a forecast. It is now. Overflow has started not because you did more, chased harder, or forced results into being, but because something inside you settled. You no longer wait for the outside to change. You've claimed the shift internally, and now the outer world bends to that inner knowing. You didn't stumble upon this moment, you arrived. By your own unseen authority, you have rearranged the script. You assumed the role of one who has, and now the story must respond accordingly.